Hi, I'm Shannon Kay with K&M Precision Rifle Training. Spending a week down at K&M, doing a dealer event, sharing a lot of tips and checking out some new products from Kahles. This year at SHOT Show, what was years in the making is the new K328i. Okay, most people call it the 3-28 for short. It is a true 8x magnification scope. So this is the next evolution of their line. A lot of people are familiar with the 5-25 DLR that came out. And Kahles did something very wise and very responsible. Hey, how do we get better? We're selling a ton of these things. We're leading the industry in a lot of different things. We're widening field of view. We're breaking the mold. But how do we get better? So a team of us, not just Team K&M guys, but some other college shooters and then obviously some PRS shooters. We all brainstormed, went to Atlanta, and they listened to us for a couple hours. And this is what came of it. So let's kind of walk through this, talk about the evolution, talk about how it's different, talk about how it's better, and to see if it fits your mold, your solid shooting, which I think it will. So first thing you notice, if you have a 5-25 and you put it up to the K3-28, is you're gonna notice that this eyepiece is significantly better. Just looking at this, there's objective lenses as big as this eyepiece. Not an engineer by trade, I just tell them what I want, but I think what that is, what that basically come from is, hey, we told them the two biggest things right off the top. You need to have the widest field of view in the industry, and you need to have the most forgiving eye box. And that eye box is something you don't find on the spec sheets. You could have a lot of magnification range, you could have good eye relief, you might get some good field of view, but if your eye box, which is essentially how much movement your eye is in your eye relief, and really to maintain that sight picture during the recoil impulse, that is key for us shooters. Why? Because as long-range shooters, long-range hunters, just even average sportsmen, we all have that recoil to deal with. If we can stay in the scope, then we can see our hits, we can see our misses, we maintain situational awareness, especially if we're a tactical guy. If we're a hunter, we can see our hit or an insufficient hit. So that eye box is key, and it's really not talked about too much. And that's what the benefit of getting these high-level, very competitive competition shooters together. They'll tell you what you want. We have it in here. It is the most forgiving eye box scope I've ever shot at a true 3.5 to 28, which is probably the ideal shooting magnification range for most shooters. A lot of guys are racing at 30, 35, 40, and those have their places, but really most of us are living in that 12 to about 22, 20 range, when now with this scope up to 28 and that wider field of view and that more forgiving eye box, we're gonna get more magnification. Well, why do people want more magnification? Well, some people think, well, I get more accuracy. No, that's not gonna be the case. What we do get out of that higher magnification, and it's more psychological than anything else, is we get a more precise reticle placement. Our target's magnified, our crosshairs, in this case the dot in conjunction with the crosshairs, we get a better fidelity with our eyesight on that. So it's a benefit across the board. So where shooters may always shoot their PRS barricade or a certain drill at certain magnification, and they sacrifice a little bit of reticle placement or that fidelity in reticle placement, now they don't have to, because your field of view is wider. Well, how much wider? Well, at 25 power, if you take this 25 power with the DLR, which was already leading the industry, that's about 8 mils, so it's 16 mils wide. This, you'll be able to see 10 mils wide. That's why we took the SKMR reticle, changed it to the SKMR Plus, which I designed with them, because we had so much wider field of view. Yeah, in most cases, guys don't need those hash marks, but it's there to have should you need it, if you need to measure something outside of the center of a scope, time a mover to do more mover formulas or what have you. So awesome benefit there. That is probably the biggest selling point of this scope. And of course, they increased the tube size to 36. So that 36 is gonna get us a little bit more travel. The turret retains a lot of the same features from the 5-25. We came out with the DLR, which was the upgrade from the normal 5-25. So we have bigger spaces in between on that 10 mil turret, large knob. And so under low light, if I'm a little older and my near eyesight is losing it, I don't have to get glasses or a magnifying glass. I could change that in a very quick manner, which obviously has a lot of benefits to both the hunter, sportsman, and competitor alike. The windage knob carries over as well. Illumination on the right side. In this case, the scope's configured for a right-handed shooter. It has a left-hand windage knob, and they're the only ones doing that as well. That makes it more ergonomic and more efficient. And then obviously, just like the parallax knob, having these on the correct side, it really helps us with efficiency. Guys are always, I'm timing out in stages. I'm not shooting fast enough. I'm missing shots. is because, and really we don't want them to speed up because you don't want to rush your fundamentals to failure. So what we do and how we train our guys is, hey, find efficiencies, no unwasted movements. So if I was a shooter, in this case as a right-handed shooter, I'm manipulating the bolt, I need to change my data. I go to data, I slide down, very efficient, change my parallax, and I can reference my windage as a left-hand side. Most shooters under time won't use their windage knob, but it could always be referenced so you forget or you need to reference it. And it's in your eyesight because your head's gonna be on the left-hand side as a shooter. Of course, they're available for lefties as well. You could put them on the right-hand side. And so we have, Kahles has all the shooters covered there as well. So let's go down as we move forward, guys. Obviously, in the tube, I just talked about the SKMR Plus. There's also the SKMR Plus with no number. It is very similar to the original SKMR that was out. When I designed those reticles for Kahles, obviously it liked it. It's been copied across the industry by almost all optical manufacturers in some form with their own little tweaks on it. And the SKMR1 kind of went into the shadows. As people buy things and figure out they don't need it and they don't use it, which is often happening with that tree, depending on the type of shooting that they're doing, they're finding that tree could get in the way sometimes. Well, how so? Gun gets fired, recoil gets managed, typically that muzzle will rise slightly. Shooters want to see their impact. They're going to utilize that forgiving eye box and that wide field of view. And sometimes those trees, especially the busier there are, will block the side of the shooter to see their impacts, to see their misses, and to make corrections. As a competitive shooter, that's absolutely critical. So the one, we essentially got rid of the tree. We have 5 mils up for hold unders, and then we continue to go all the way down, but we removed the tree. Everything else is very similar to people that are familiar with the SKMR4 or the SKMR4 Plus. So I think for the competitive shooters that find themselves not referencing the tree and want a little clearer sight picture, they're gonna go to the SKMR Plus. That's what me and most of my teammates are gonna be running this 2024 season. So look at that and consider those two options when you get out there. And of course, the MOA side would be available in time as well. All right, so we move forward, guys. We have the 50 millimeter. We're not going to get any more light transmission than we already have due to the glass. The scope is really a versatile scope in the sense that I could put it on a gas gun. I could put it on a small frame gas gun, going all the way down to 3.5. I could put it on a PRS competition rifle, and I'm right in the meat of where I always live, which is in that kind of 10 to 20 to 25 power. Most guys really should not be using that 28 or even more unless they're on a static range. And for most of our shooting that we're doing, we're not on a static range. We're not shooting at paper. It's very dynamic. It's a very practical and tactical skill set, and that magnification range can get you in trouble a lot. So having a little bit more for those static kind of paper 0 and dot drills, awesome. Again, that eye relief in conjunction with the forgiving eye box and wider field of view, one modified reticle and obviously one new one, which is what's old's new again, really are going to set this scope apart. So as you're looking for some new glass, you're looking to upgrade, the K328i hits all the mark and is leading the industry. So we hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it was educational for you. We'll see you guys on the firing line, and get yourself out there and grab one of these and take your shooting to the next level.